say something real quick.
Hello.
Okay,
Hi.
that's good. That's all I needed.
My name is Kayla Williams. I am currently from Dallas, Texas. I used to live in Kentucky a couple years ago, and I lived there for 11 years, and I was born and raised in Maryland. And we are currently at Seneca Rocks, West Virginia, throwing Grits N Glory Volume 4, which is an all-women's moto campout. So I got into riding through my husband. We had a tax return that we wanted to invest in getting to know how to ride and get into bikes. And so I did it with him to do something with him. And we did it at Wildcat Harley in London, Kentucky, and had a really great experience. It was really stressful, but really rewarding. And he already had purchased a bike by the time we were finished with the course. And when I was done, I had so much fun that I was like, I am not riding on the back of your bike. So a couple weeks later, I purchased my bike, which my first bike was, or is, a 2016 48 Sportster with a gold sparkly tank. And that's actually the bike I still currently ride, even though I ride several different bikes. I'm currently riding my husband's bagger. I've ridden Moto Guzzi's. I've ridden a couple different ones, but I do love my Sportster even for long distance. So Grits N Glory, I started that because when I started riding and got really into it, and I absolutely love riding motorcycles, and I love riding with my husband. It's one of my favorite things, but there is something about wanting to ride with women. It is something completely different. And with the age of social media, when you start searching things and you start seeing groups of women riding and looking like complete badasses, you want to be a part of that. It's something that I searched for quite some time. And shortly after I got my bike, so I got my bike in the spring of 2016, I think. And it was a couple months later, I was actually in Sturgis. Yeah, because it's in August. So I was in Sturgis in August, and it was my first solo ride. And I went to, it was called Wild Gypsy Tour. Currently called Ride Wild. And it was the first all-women's motorcycle campout within Sturgis, like within the chip. And that's something I really wanted to be a part of. So I drove from Berea, Kentucky, all the way to Sturgis and spent a week and a half on the road, almost 2 weeks, all by myself. Laid down lots of miles on my Sportster, and I just met the most life-changing women, and their friendships I still have to this day, and I will never change that for the world. And it's something that kind of changed my life. And when I got back to Kentucky, and I had a lot of epiphanies, and I said, I want to bring that back to Kentucky because I couldn't find a single woman to ride with. And I knew if I was having a hard time, others were as well. And I wanted to kind of bring that women's empowerment movement on motorcycles to this region. So that's kind of why I started it, and now we're here. I started Grits N Glory in 2017, and we do volumes, so this is volume 4 this year. Attendance each year has been very interesting. So the first year I sold maybe 25 tickets, and I was so pumped. Like, I thought that was so many tickets. And we actually got, I would call it being rained out, because we kind of, the entire event was almost all torrential downpour. There was a total of 13 of us there that actually stayed and partied and made amazing friendships. There's a handful of women out there right now that have been with me since year 1. So 13 attended the first year. Year 2, we had 26 people show up. Year 3, we capped it at 30. And then this year we sold 60 tickets. We also had some rain this year, so not 60 people showed up, but we did sell 60 tickets, which is pretty phenomenal. So I think the average person would benefit from riding a motorcycle because it gives you, this is gonna get really morbid, it gives you an acceptance of death. And I live my life so much differently now, not just on a motorcycle, but I live my life knowing that I could die at any moment, and I am totally okay with that because I'm now okay with how I live my life, and I live it to the absolute fullest. And I'm out here looking at women who are connecting with other women and are making lifelong friendships like I have, and finally finding people who are, you know, part of their tribe, and that is life-changing like it was for me. And I think when you find your people, whether it's on a motorcycle that's a Harley, or it's a adventure bike, or it's dirt bikes, you find your people, and the moto community is absolutely amazing. And we all have that in common. We all are okay with dying. And there's nothing wrong with that. That sounds really scary, but it's life-changing.
And I'll go to bed this afternoon. My brains were caught in a funk since months since I've been drunk, but days